Hello everyone, I am the Chaotic Otaku, and this is what I call, a little riff of a fan fiction. A really bad Touhou fan fiction, if you could guess that. However, this kind of fan fiction, I've been through enough torture as it is. So I decided to bring in a little friend, if you would.
Hello, I'm Esoterica. I'm British.
Yes, whenever there's a riff, you always gotta bring a Britishman to make things more classy. Now,
Sure.
Now then, this fiction is known as the Fable of Xero Kita by, well, Xero Kita. Published on May 8th, 2014 on fanfiction.net, and the last time it was updated, it was on April 7th, 2015. It has a total of 17 chapters, but for me specifically, it's just 17 circles of the underworld. Let's just say that. No, there's just
The underworld does not have 17 circles.
yeah. Well, this is what the super version of the underworld is like.
Except the hidden 40-second circle of the underworld, which is where they keep all the EA developers.
Yeah, all right. So, be prepared for bad grammar. Lots and lots of bad grammar. Okay. Okay. And let's start off at the very beginning. A prologue, the flowers of misty spring. Side note: prologue is spelled in this fiction. It's spelled Prolog. We're already off to a bad start.
The prologue.
Okay. James Benson cannot remember what had happened as the world around him went dark. The last thing he remembered was coming back from the local Asda with his friends Billy and Jade. James lived in London most of his life, and he could not complain about his life. Yes, that is how it is spelled. It's not because I have poor English. He was doing all right in college, and his social life was all right too. Okay,
I still can't get over the Asda part.
Also, for those who are watching, I want to let you know, you never hear from this Jade person again. That is the only time we ever hear from Jade. Trust me, it is best that way.
Does Billy come back?
We'll have to go through the chapters to find out. Then
Is Billy the exception to the rule?
Well, we'll see. Then he could see light as he opened his eyes. The ground below him was soft and made of grass as he saw the sun up above him and trees everywhere. He was in a forest. I feel dizzy, James would pair D to himself as he got up and wondered where he was.
You see, we made the floor out of grass. This is we ended our Minecraft Gensokyo server. We took like 50 grass blocks and we put them on the floor.
And also, I'm not sure what a whimper is, but it was like a whimpering pear or something.
It's not how pear is spelled.
It's just the whimper with the letter D. There's space. It's not good. Expect a lot of grammatical errors throughout this entire riff.
Your misspelling is misspelled.
Yes. And then a blonde-haired little girl with a red bow and black dress had come as well as a blue fairy with blue hair and ice-like wings. Oh.
It looks like dinner has come,
Rumia said as she cast the darkness, and James could feel pain, but he was not going to die today. He had to find out the truth, so he picked up a stick and smashed her across the face and made her run for it.
Ouch, you meanie!
She shouted and gave chase, and we already have one of our many, many problems with this fic.
Okay, so, Rumia, we started out, and Rumia is apparently like playing a game of Dungeons and Dragons. I cast the darkness!
It seems like in these types of fics, if we're gonna make Dungeons and Dragons jokes, it seems like Rumia is just like the kobolds. She like literally the first enemy they come across. But although unlike the kobolds, where you actually have a chance, Rumia, you literally can't do anything.
I tap my 2 swamps to cast the darkness.
Sorry, not a high enough roll. Also,
that was a Magic the Gathering reference.
Shut up. Also, I'd like to point out that Cyrano, she's a fairy, she does not eat people. She'd rather freeze frogs than eat people.
He has to find out the truth, though. He's a Persona character now.
Oh, crap. No, this is... Oh my god, this is Persona 6! Holy crap! No.
Persona 6, starring the final boss from Touhou 17, Billy.
Yes. James ran as fast as he could, but the Ferris, yes, that is how fairies is spelled apparently now, catched up with him.
We're going to enjoy eating you alive, foolish boy.
I also like to point out that there are literally no periods in that sentence. Rumia said that as she started firing many magic spells, but then something blocked them, and it was a girl in a red and white outfit with really beautiful armpits, as well as a blonde-haired witch.
Leave the humans alone, you pesky yokais there.
Okay. Before we go on, in post, can we add like a Z and misspelling of Marissa's name counters?
Yeah. Oh man. Dang it. Maybe. Marissa laughed as she fired the... get ready for this. Master Sparkle and hurt Cyrano and Rumia pretty bad.
You'll pay for this, damn it!
Rumia said, and they fled. So we're already reaching our first highlight, the Master Sparkle. I
think I bought one of those at the local Asda.
I bought oh really? You got those at Asda? I got mine from Spencer's. Alright, thank you for saving me, James said, and hugged the shrine maiden.
It's what I do. You need to be careful. Some of the yokai eat humans that go outside the village.
Question. Last time is Cyrano technically a yokai? She's a fairy, so...
Fairy's a yokai.
Okay.
Yokai aren't fairies, though, and he called Rumia a fairy earlier, so I guess anything goes.
Yeah, yes, anything goes in the mind of Xero Kita. Reimu said, and James nodded. Where I am. I last remember going home with my friends, and then I woke up in this forest, James sighed.
As did everyone else.
Alright, then it's your turn to read.
He must be from the outside world. We gotta get him somewhere safe, lack of Zeh.
Marisa said, and they took James with them as they flew away on Amara Isa's broomstick.
And they flew away on Maraka's broomstick.
Morocco. Alright then.
You are in Gensokyo. It is a land of magic and things forgotten by the outside world, but they still live here kept by a powerful border.
I'd like to keep in mind that border is spelled wrong, Reimu said. This is amazing. I never knew a place like this even existed. It's like a fairy tale. Congratulations! Way to dumb down Gensokyo into a generic fantasy land. James smiled as he looked at the land below them.
That's because it is, eh?
Ding.
Marissa laughed.
I am Reimu Hakurai, the Shrine Maiden. I help deal with the yokai and stopping incidents. You are lucky we found you in time. Please put punctuation in my sentence.
She said to James, and he thought these two that saved him were really nice, and he hoped he could become their friend. God, where and there are not used correctly. This is hurting my brain as we speak.
It's okay. You'll get used to it.
They landed outside of a large red mansion with a clock tower.
This is the Scarlet Devil Mansion. They will look after you here,
said Reimu, and she knocked the door, and a silver-haired maid answered.
Zawardo!
Oh, for God's sake, please! No more JoJo references, please!
Oh, it's you, Reimu! Are you here to see Tio? I mean, Mr. Ceremilia!
The maid asked, and Reimu shook her head.
No, we found someone from the outside world. We were wondering if you could help them for a little bit,
Reimu said, and Sakuya nodded.
Konodyuda! Of course, we are more than happy to give him a bed for a few days until he gets back on his feet.
Sakuya said, and James noticed that she was really cute, and he blushed. Yes,
of course.
It was really nice. It was really important for us. It was really important for him to let us know that Sakuya was cute. Seriously, have you seen the fan art? Jeebus.
Can we
in post add like censored porn of Sakuya?
Oh no, please.
Please.
Right. Let's just continue this along. Reimu and Maraisa left, and Sakuya took James to a small dark room with a bed near the library. Dang, it's bad grammar. It's getting to me. With a bed near the library area.
You will stay here. Dinner is at 9.
And she said and left. And James, he jumped on the bed and passed out because he was hurt and tired from his trip. Yes, he was really badly. That night.
Well, I mean, he did get hurt when Rumia casted the darkness.
That's true. That's true. That was a very powerful darkness. That night, James had strange dreams about a blonde-haired girl in a white and purple outfit, and he remembered a purple crack in the world. And then he woke up and noticed a purple-haired girl was standing over his bedside, and she blushed.
Sorry, I didn't mean to wake you.
Patchouli Knowledge said, and brought him some chicken noodle soup. Thank you, James remarked shyly, and he tasted the soup. It's really good. James smiled. I like to keep in mind that you're in this gigantic mansion, and the best you could think of was chicken noodle soup.
Okay, can I just ask that you stop emoting when reading James's lines?
Oh, that's good.
Because they have no punctuation and no capitals.
That's good. Trust me, you get used to it.
It's really good. James smiled.
My name is Patchouli Knowledge. I run the library here in the mansion. I'm also a mage. It's nice to meet you. I've never met many people from the outside world, so it'd be nice to hear some stories when you are better.
She smiled.
She smiled and hoped for commas.
James smiled. He knew he wanted to get better as soon as possible because this girl was interesting, and perhaps she could be the one to help him understand his Gensokyo better, and maybe even help him settle in. Needless to say, many torturous adventures would lay ahead for him. So, where do we begin?
I don't know. I think my favorite part was when Rumia casted the darkness, and I've overdone that joke.
My favorite part was when Maracia brought out the Master Sparkle.
The cheap one from the local Asda.
All right then. Next up, chapter
We
1.
suck at this.
Okay, come on. It's our first time. No need to be shy. Chapter 1, Spring's Warm Light. James could feel the moonlight on his body as it came through the window. For some reason, he woke up feeling energetic as he found a new set of clean clothes by the bedside. It was a black Japanese-style casual outfit and a pair of shoes.
The mates left this for you.
Patchouli smiled as James got changed and did his hair, probably something like an anime character.
Weird time to get up, I guess, but I've slept enough.
James replied as he could hear music in the mansion.
What's going on?
James inquired.
Jams.
Yes, he just turned to a jar of jam. What flavor?
The mistress is having a party. She does that a lot. In fact, she wants to see you because she loves having guests at the parties.
Said Patchouli. James and Jeff Goldblum and Patchouli went to the party, and they were playing old-style Japanese music and even some classic Western music. And there was food.
No, they weren't.
And there was food and drink and lots of yokai and Ferris everywhere.
This is bloody amazing.
You gotta keep. All right, I forgot. He's British. James grinned and helped himself to some food, and then Remilia came.
Why, hello, welcome everyone. This is the outsider I told you about.
Remilia smiled, and everyone looked surprised and shocked, but then started to clap, and James felt embarrassed.
Well, he looks cool,
a fairy said. So, what makes this outsider different from all the other outsiders that came to this mansion, let alone James?
My voice hurts.
Don't worry. I can voice the other characters. Remilia then got her picture taken with James using an old 1800s style camera that had a steampunk feel to it.
So you're the Scarlet Devil I've heard about. Why do they call you that?
James asked her politely. Because I'm a
vampire, you silly.
She smiled.
It's my job.
He felt nervous for a moment, but then smiled because it was really cool.
That's awesome.
James smiled, and Remilia smiled too. Yeah.
No, she didn't.
Now, if this were any realistic situation, if I just found out that this adorable little girl who just turned out was actually a vampire, I'd run straight out of the door, like run past Mei Ling, who's probably sleeping on the job.
Ravioli, give me the vampire lolly.
No! James felt amazed by this world because magic existed and wonderful creatures and people. Like, again, way to dumb down Gensokyo to every generic fantasy. Perhaps he could get used to this Gensokyo. After all, despite how decent his life on the outside world was, he cannot lie that it was dull and lacked adventure. Why would he even want to go back to Earth now?
Yeah, why would I want to go back to my family and friends and comfortable lifestyle where giant earthquake-inducing heaven people with peaches in their hats don't cause earthquakes a bunch, and also there's this freaking moon people.
To be fair, there are some. To be fair, I mean, some people really sacrificed a lot just for this to happen. Vermilia hugged James, and he blushed.
No, she didn't.
You're cute.
She giggled, and then she went back to interact with the party. And then a band came out on stage and played music. They looked like Ferris of Ghost Sisters of some kind. So, fairies of Ghost Sisters? You mean the Prison River Sisters? Because you're obviously talking about the Prison River Sisters.
So, fairies of Ghost Sisters. So, it's not the Prison River Sisters. They just sent, like, their backup dancers.
Yes, they just sent some backup dancers. James went over to Patchouli and offered her a drink.
Thank you.
She smiled.
So no, wait, that's the wrong person. So do you spend most of your time in the library?
James asked her, and she nodded.
What happens to me here, I mean, after I leave and all?
He asked.
Well, the Shrine Madden will probably send you to live in a human village.
Patchouli replied, and James sighed because he wanted to badly help in this world. Trust me, this may sound fun and all, but let's be honest, you'd wish you'd lived in a human village right about now. That's when he asked the question.
Patchouli, will you marry me?
No.
That's what the question is.
No.
Actually, can you teach me magic so I can become a mage like you? I don't want to be cooped up in some boring village for the rest of my days, and I've always wanted a life like this.
James said, and Patchouli looked towards the ground nervously, hoping to God he's not a robot.
No! I mean, I'm not sure. I've never had a student before.
And it's probably best that she didn't, Patchouli remarked.
I'll do anything for it, despite the fact that I've just said I wasn't sure a line ago.
Right, it's that wrong person.
Oh, that's James!
Yes.
I'll do anything for it,
James said, and Patchouli thinked about it for a moment.
Alright then, but you have to follow all my instructions, understood?
Don't you mean follow?
Follow!
She said, and James smiled and hugged her tightly, and it was at that very moment that Patchouli realized she messed up. Horribly. James noticed Marasa and Reimu were there at the party, and he went to talk with them.
Hello, James. How are you finding Gensokios, eh?
Ding. Marisa smiled.
Marcia.
Oh, Marcia. God dang it.
Ding.
Sounds like a goddamn Fire Emblem character. Let's see.
I'm enjoying it. It's such a beautiful place, and I can't wait to explore it tomorrow.
Don't you mean bootful?
Beautiful,
he said, and Marasia patted him on the head.
Glad to hear it, Zeh.
Ding.
She said. They partied for the rest of the night and had really good food and drink, and it was amazing as James went to bed that night feeling really good. So I like to mention like at this point that it's probably they've been like what 2 to 3 days since James has lived in Gensokyo, and already he's already letting out the signs. He was obviously kept in Gensokyo. He chased under by Rumia and is now living in someone's house free of charge with no problem whatsoever, and already he wants to stay in Gensokyo.
Good.
We're gonna be
like this fanfic.
We're gonna be here for a while. James had another dream of the same girl, and he could see eyes all around him in the purple void.
So, you came here as it is foreseen.
The lady's voice said, implying that there's more than one lady. And then James woke up, and it was a beautiful morning outside.
And this dream sequence was entirely pointless, and I guess he just left the dream immediately after Yukari said that, and Yukari just kind of, okay, this is fine.
Okay. He went to the dusty library to see Patchouli, and she was happy to see him. So one time they spelled library right, and it was too good to be true. There was still a grammatical error.
Sit down. It's time to begin your studies. However, before we begin, we must do something important. Oh God!
And it was at this very moment where it's an obvious author's fantasies. She said, and James wanted to hear what it was.
You will need a new name, a magician's name, but also a Japanese one. This isn't Japan, but you need one. It is custom to become part of the culture here, but also take on a new life as you begin your journey into magic.
She said. Now, I'd like to point out that how does Patchouli know of Japan? How does she even know what lies beyond the outside world?
Well, I mean, there's an American flag on the moon.
Yeah, that's true. And I think they did go to the moon once.
Who knows when this game is set?
And runes,
I mean, this fanfiction.
Yeah, and runes became to float around James as Patchouli chanted the binding.
Your new name is Xero Kita. That is a good name.
Yes, let it be known that Xero Kita is 100% and realistically a good name for a magician that's Japanese. She said as the name was binded to him somewhere, and he closed his eyes to accept that he is now a Gappy Stew.
Yes, Xero Kita. I am now a Sonic original character.
Do not steal, he said, and it was a good name and really cool, he thought. You can already see where the downfall takes place. Through the day,
everyone was happy.
Through the day, Patchouli became to teach Xero basic skills and enchantments, and she noticed he was a fast learner as he had already mastered very basic elemental spells.
Elemental.
Elemental.
You're doing really good. I'm so proud of you, son.
I'm proud of you, son. Now we can finally be a family again. Patchouli smiled and kissed him, and Xero was shocked and wondered if she had a thing for him. No, he just had a bit of chocolate on his cheek.
I'm a Gappy Stew!
He took the signals and kissed her as he began to lay on her.
Please stop. Please, Xero, I'm not ready to lose my virginity yet.
No, not yet anyways. I'm waiting for Marisa. This. She said, and he continued to kiss her. No.
He said, and Patchouli.
No. You gotta say it like this. Shushing noises. He said. He said, and Patchouli blushed very brightly.
No, please stop.
But Xero knew she was enjoying it. No, she was not, but decided to honor her request. Good, Patchouli. You get to see another day.
I am sorry, I got carried away in the moment and accidentally raped you.
James sighed.
It's alright. You're a fanfiction main character.
Patchouli said, and they continued the lessons. Outside, a woman was watching.
So, this story finally begins. This should be interesting.
Yeah, Ron said as her tails wagged, and then she walked away into the open gap.
Yeah, Ron was here, by the way. She just appeared, and then she's never mentioned again for like 5 chapters.
Later that afternoon, Xero went out to explore the lake and forest and noticed how pretty Gensokyo looked as she saw the fairest in the sky. I guess Xero changed genders for a second there.
I could check the Mountians or even the human village. So many places to explore.
He doesn't even. The closest he's seen is the only thing he's seen is just some random forest and a mansion. He hummed to himself as he looked around. Xero went to the human village somehow with no guidance, and got to know some of the people there. And he noticed they were really nice, and he liked their company. And then he saw a girl with horns. So I'm going to assume that the journey was so long that it's now nighttime, and it just so happens to be a full moon.
Moo.
Oh.
Hello there.
Kiene said.
You must be from the outside world.
How can you tell? It was written all over your face. She smiled, and Xero noted.
Yes, I am. Xero Kita. I came here a few days ago, but I am studying magic now. Is nice.
He said.
That's good. You will need to know some self-defense here in Gansokyo, since some yokai are man-eaters.
She replied. She took Zero inside the school for some reason. Yes, taking some random stranger you just met inside your school. That's a good idea.
This is where we teach people. We also have a public library because we spelled it right once and that was too much of an affront against humanity. And records office for the village,
she said, and Zero nodded. Kiane then showed him the sights as he came to be familiar with the human village, learning about restaurants to eat and places to go, public services, and then took him to the town hall to meet the mayor as well. So, yeah.
Accuse the mayor now.
Gosh, I remember when the human village, which is supposed to be an urban traditional Japanese style village, had many modern restaurants, as well as a gigantic modern mayor mall or hall. His grammar, it's getting to me. I don't like this. Nighttime was almost there, and they were eating noodles at an outdoor restaurant and having beer.
It's been a good day. Thank you for treating me to dinner, Kiane.
Zero smiled, and Kiane smiled as well.
It's my pleasure. I enjoy meeting new people, and you are really nice, Zero,
as Kiane said.
So what do you plan to do now that you are here in Gansokyo?
Kiane asked.
Well, I want to become a magician and maybe help deal with yokai incidents with the others, and it's the least I can do to pay them back for helping me when I first came here.
Zero replied, even though he literally knows nothing about Gansokyo outside from the Scarlet Devil Mansion. Kiane finished her foot and patted Zero on the back.
If you never need any help, you know where to find me,
Kiane said, and Zero was happy because he liked to meet new friends. The next few days would show many adventures ahead for our hero, and what path would he take in his training as a magician?
Who knows? Maybe he'll learn a spell to break the Geneva Convention.
Maybe he'll learn a spell to actually develop a human emotion.
Maybe he'll learn a spell to not write fan fiction so poorly. Find out next episode of Dragon Ball Z.
I was thinking more of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but good guess. Chapter 2.
JoJo was the last. JoJo's references were the last chapter. Get out with the times.
Shut up. Chapter 2, Spring's New Day. Also, I like to point out that when it comes to these kinds of words, there's no apostrophe and such. So, again, this is really hurting my brain. Zero was sitting in the Forest of Magic, reading one of the books his friend Patchouli had given him to study. Over the past week, he had mastered so many new spells and had even impressed Ramilia. And when in reality, Ramilia would be like, I seem better. He was so much in her debt that Zero hoped he could pay her back for the hospitality. It was then a black yokai, had come and attacked him with darkness, but he bounced out of the way and shot a fire spell to counterattack.
A delicious human. No, wait, a delocus human.
There we go. Yes, a delocus human. They're quite rare in Gansokyo. Yeah, it was
Delocus.
Rumia smiled. Zero remembered. It was the yokai that attacked him when he first arrived in Gansokyo.
I'm going to get you back for hurting me that day.
I'm angry. Really. Zero said, and slammed his fists together as he became fireballs, and it was being a Fire Fist Ace ripoff, and he punched her at Rumia and smacked her into a tree. ... She was pretty weak, he thought, and realized she wasn't a very strong yokai. I mean, what is she, like a stage 1 boss? But it was personal to him, because if not for Marasa and Remiyu, he would have been this yokai's meal. So he grabbed her by the neck and held her against the tree.
I should break your fucking neck, you scumbag.
Zero roared, still angry with her, and Rumia began to cry.
Please have mercy on me. I will never do it again.
Yes. Now can you please put that with a little more emotion? She sobbed.
You're just a little fucking coward, aren't you?
Preying
on innocent humans. You do not understand humans are living beings like you. What right do you have to eat them?
Zero blasted. What do you mean he blasted? All he seen were just question marks. He picked her up and threw her to the ground as she broke her arm.
Unlike you, I am not a fucking monster, so I will let you go, but from now on you will leave other humans alone.
Zero ordered, and Rumia nodded and ran away crying. So, yeah, he said that he's not a freaking monster, and yet here he is strangling a cute girl, throwing said girl on the ground, and proceeds to break her arm. This is I'm not a monster. She's a yokai, so therefore she's a monster. Yeah, then a girl with red trousers and a white shirt had come out.
Don't make me do this.
Fine. That was pretty impressed. You'd make a good yokai hunter, the girl said.
Who are you?
Zero asked, and she bowed politely, which is something that she would never do at all. My name is Fujiwahi no Moku. I am a yokai hunter and an immortal.
No, I'm not.
And an immortal. Pleased to meet you. She smiled and shook Zero's hand.
No, she's not.
She's not a yokai hunter.
I was thinking of becoming a hunter since I am training to be a mage.
Zero smiled and Moku nodded. Well, some practical fighting will help too. How about I teach you a bit of hand-to-hand combat in a world where we fight by shooting big balls of energy? I have some free time anyway, Moku said.
Sure, I'd love to spar with you, Moku.
Zero replied. Moku here, she's teaching him hand-to-hand combat. No. Just no.
For the next 4 hours, the two of them trained as she showed Zero the very basics of hand-to-hand combat, and even impressed him with her fire powers as she told him the story of how she became immortal and her love for a certain moon princess as well as a Rivery.
I still don't know what a Rivery is. And if I recall...
Rivalry, I'm assuming.
If I recall, doesn't Moku hate Kaguya? She despises her because over 1,000 years ago, she rejected Moku's hand in marriage.
Yep.
Okay, and if you do have that knowledge, good for you. Later that night, they went to the human village to get some beer at the local bar. Really, you're gonna make Misty go out of business? As they chatted and reflected on that day. Yes, I was in love with Kaguya once, but we grew to be enemies as well. It is completed, Moku said, and sipped her beer, realizing that she's slurring more than a drunken Rick.
And from what you've told me about these moon people, I don't like them very much. That's racist.
Zero said. Let's see. Here we are. That's because they have a belief of total purity and despise impure beings like humans or yokai. They even want to stop humanity getting into space so they can maintain their power forever. Moku said, even though
it can't be that bad, then.
Even though that mankind has already reached the moon quite a few times.
They sound like racists, says the racist. There was a group like that in the outside world called the Nazis, and they were pure evil and hated anyone that was not a white person. When I hear about people like that look down on others, I just wish I could tear them down. We've got Nazis in this fanfiction now.
Yep, and we're only 3 chapters in.
Godwin's Law has brought us back.
Yeah, oh my god, wait, who?
Godwin's Law. It's an internet adage that asserts that as an online discussion grows longer, the probability of a comparison involving Hitler approaches 1.
Okay, so Godwin's archive, she said?
Godwin's Law.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but so we're only like let's see. So we're like 2 chapters into the story, and already we can obviously already, as if it wasn't obvious enough, we see that James is obviously the author. 3 chapters in, and we're already breaking into topics of racism, Nazis, and the fact that our main character is more of a monster than the yokai. Our hero, everybody. Zero sighed and drank his beer. Then Moku leaned forward, and who obviously felt a fiery passion for that sweet bland lap, and forced Zero into a kiss as he pushed away for a moment. Do you not like me, Zero? And Moku asked.
It's not that. My heart belongs to another, and well, I still think Kaguya loves you, and one day you can overcome your differences with her. It would better that way.
Zero sighed as he blushed, not expecting what she just said. So, yes, yeah, I think Kaguya still loves you, Mogu. Oh, really? Even though they fought for a very, very long time, and they still despise each other, and Kiene and Eren have to act like mothers to keep them from killing each other over and over again. I mean, at this point, it's just practically routine. Zero paid for the drinks with the money that we never knew he had, and left to return to the Scarlet Devil Mansion. He had training to do with Patchouli tonight, and he could not afford to miss it. At 1 in the morning, the human village was silent for the night, as everyone was in bed except the mayor, who was in his office alone, as he was thinking, probably thinking about how he wishes he was in a better fanfiction. But then a shadowy figure had entered the room and locked the door, and it was totally not Yukari.
Okay, so apparently this isn't Akio.
Yep, yeah.
Who is the only person who would ever be the mayor of the human village.
Yep, I'm just some completely random mayor. Either Akio doesn't exist at this point, or they just throw cannon out the window, as if they hadn't done that enough already. So you came, yokai. Well, not yet, but I was about to finish, he said. And
why won't you let me do the acting?
Yeah, he said, and sipped a glass of Wixie. He knew who this old yokai was, and it was totally not Yukari and what she wanted.
I told you before, I will not pass these laws. This village is for humanity. You yokai already control most of Gensokyo, and you want more?
He sighed. So, I mean, to be fair, the closest thing you have to a yokai are Mamizo and Kiene, because she could turn to a Hakutaku at full moon. But even then, the yokai picked up the bottle and smashed it into lots of shards on the table. And this is a segment I like to call pointlessly gruesome.
We're past that point, you human filth. Since you cannot compromise, we shall remove you and replace you with a mayor more sympathetic to our needs. You see, a new order is coming here in Gensokyo, and even beyond, then sacrifices have to be made in order to assure the plan is a success.
And I will make sure the plan is a success by killing you! The yokai said as she cast a spell to paralyze the mayor as he looked on in horror. The yokai picked the glass shards up and shoved them down the mayor's mouth, and then picked more up and shoved even more bits of glass down. Sheesh, how strong was Yukari? His throat until his mouth was stuffed with blood and broken glass.
Eat it, you filth! Eat it and choke on it! Does it hurt? Eat it and die already!
Yeah, joke's on you! I eat glass for breakfast without any milk! The yokai screamed as she forced his jaws shut, pushing it up and down, forcing him to chew and swallow the broken glass until he drowned in his own agony and blood and was dead.
Hopefully the gods are kind and reincarnate you something better than this,
the yokai said, and vanished. Well, that was...
Didn't realize we were reading a poorly written version of Koichi Komechi's heart-throbbing adventure.
I think you're right. We're just reading a poor man's version of Koichi Komechi's heart-throbbing adventure. And even then,
you're stuttering too much.
And even then, poor people deserve better than this.
You're stuttering too much. The fanfic is getting to you. As a result, I think this is a good ending point for our first episode.
Yep, join us next time as we take a look at more of this thing.
Maybe someone will die again. We don't know.
Who knows? Maybe James will actually develop a personality. That was very unlikely.
His name's not James. His name is Xero Kita.
Shh. I seen it all.